All right, starting to stream.
Okay.
Okay, I believe in you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of Farm to Tower. I'm your moderator, Alex O'Neill. Joining me this week is the beautiful panel that is composed of the Beast from the East, Griffin Guccione.
I saw it, dude.
My complicated lover-in-law, Cameron Abbott, and a beast that's pretty okay, Alex Van Aken.
Hey, I was sitting here expecting to have the best nickname of everyone, and instead, a beast. I guess that's all right.
I was like, oh shit, I already used beast.
I'm stuck.
A man pulsating with exotics, Alex Van Aken.
Thank you.
See, there you go. It's like Pixel Pulse Radio.
Thank you.
And I brought in
I feel better now.
exotics.
I feel better.
Listen, man, I'm thinking a lot of this shit up on the fly.
I can tell.
I'll be perfectly honest. So this is our third episode of, hopefully without technical difficulties, of Farm to Tower. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us now,
hello.
Asadi. So Griffin, welcome back. We missed you last episode.
Yeah, dude, I missed me too.
You're too busy enjoying the family and wrecking noobs in trials, I believe is what the kids say.
Yeah. That weekend that I missed, I was like more vodka Red Bulls than what should be healthy for any human.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we heard it. It sounded like a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
So I can at least respect that.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun though. I'm glad to be back though.
Absolutely. I like the
you
Discord.
Also made it.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Cameron.
Oh, well, you also made a huge transition in location since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I live in San Francisco now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you to Barrett Courtney of IGN.com for letting Griffin use his equipment.
And Sean Twisters of IGN.com for letting me use his room.
Sorry, you're going to snuggle him later. So
this is going to sound weird.
In LA at the Thork press conference right now.
Yeah. He looks so nice on the red carpet out there.
I bought those clothes with him.
Aww.
Nice. He's so dapper. Nice. And this is going to sound weird and like it's just going to sound weird.
Just say
but
it.
I was going to say I thought I recognized that bed box.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I remember when Sean didn't have a mattress for the longest time in SF and how excited he was to get it. So I remember the pictures.
Oh yeah.
Weirdly enough, I don't know why. I
like that Discord is kind of like changing up the positioning of video tile placement pretty much every time we record. It's like, their video chat is still in beta, so it's just like we're kind of along for the ride. But
I do like this.
Yeah, this
is my favorite one so far.
Yeah, this is
100%.
like keep this one, Discord. You guys got it. Especially as someone who's like using this to maybe like transition Rational Passions podcast into recording on Discord. Like we usually have 4 hosts. There's 4 people here. The video's all up. It looks good. I can see all of your beautiful faces, especially Alex. Reagan. Oh man.
Weird though, because Rational Passions, you're the only person that ever has a feed to them though.
Yeah, I mean. That could be
the rest will be like Scott's weird little like smiley face, like upside down smiley face. Then it'll be like the weird rice creature for Tony, and then it'll just be that picture that's been there for forever.
No, he changed it to.
Oh, that's right. No, he changed it when he got with the
Kingdom Hearts Orchestra.
The Kingdom Hearts composer. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's his new picture now.
How about let's get the bullshit out of here. Let's get to what really matters.
Griffin, you can go ahead and leave.
And that's it. I'm out.
Let's get to what really matters. Motherfucking Destiny 2, guys.
Yep.
So good.
It's weird. This is not your first trip to this, Alex, of like having a podcast centered around a specific video game. I think for the rest of us it is. This is Griffin's like first real podcast, so that he's been a founding member of. So I like having this specific outlet for just Destiny chatter. So
one thing you can get real deep with it.
Yeah, just like let's settle in, and like obviously no one knows Destiny better than Griffin Guccione.
True.
In my humble opinion, you're the reference point for pretty much everyone I know. Is like, well, what does Griffin think about this? So I kind of want to kick things off this week. Like, what do you guys want to like? Is there anything specific y'all want to talk about? And we can kind of go around the table.
Well, we should reference. So last time we had the show, we ended on the note of the faction
wars
that were going on at the time,
Mm-hmm.
that were launching the next day after we did the podcast. So that happened to completion, and of course, Best Orbit, Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, more like Future War Fart.
Okay.
Or Future Warm Fart.
All right, sick. Burn.
And New Monarchy wants to make the city great again. Just putting that out there.
Just,
New Monarchy came in second place, and I was stunned.
I'm not. They actually had like some really sick ass shaders and some sick ass armor. So I'm not surprised.
To me, it's just too close to Crucible. Like if I want red and white, I'll just put on a Crucible shader. Man, I don't know.
For me, it's they want to. This is lore shit. So my reasons are lore reasons.
Of course they are.
Real talk though, my Space Nihilist won, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Space Nihilists, Space Emos, Space Goths.
Ararark, whatever his name is.
Arak.
Nailed it.
Arak. I'm pretty sure. He's like sitting out there with his fucking long locks of fucking Severus Snape hair, just looking emo as fuck.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I look at him, I was like, that guy looks like Alex O'Neill.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Back when Alex had like the longer hair that he always kept like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the haircut's coming soon. I gotta get my extra life.
He got a little soul patch during those days. That totally.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Add a soul patch.
No.
Yep.
Can we like screen cap this and I'll Photoshop it later?
No, you have to find like an old picture of Alex when he has the long hair parted in the middle.
Yeah,
you can probably find that kind of funny live 1 era.
Yeah, I got some pictures.
Set in a reminder right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I could work the Iraq look. Griffin, we talked about the raid last week. That was kind of our primary point of discussion. I don't know if
I've done that a few times.
You've done that with everyone but Alex, but it's just because he's on Xbox here.
Pretty much.
So we've all finished the raid since last time. None of us had finished it as of the last episode. Now all of us have finished
I felt bad.
I've actually finished it.
As of the last episode, I had finished it like 4 or 5 times, and I wasn't on the podcast. So.
Yeah, you had the strats down. We talk generally about it. I think like we don't really necessarily have to get back into the nitty gritty of it. There's an exploit that we might revisit a little bit later, but that's gonna be gone probably by the next.
It'll be gone within the week, so it doesn't really matter.
So, but I'm just curious, like if you had any hot takes or thoughts or feelings you want to share on it, Griffin.
I, as most of you know, I don't enjoy doing PvE related content in any game, not just Destiny. So for me, like the raid's that one PvE thing where when you're running it with a good group, like it is a fun thing to do. Like I enjoy doing the raid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I don't like banging my head against the wall for a couple hours, but like when I'm playing with my actual raid team, who like we beat the raid in 50 minutes almost every time, like that's fun to me. Like speed running the raid is fun. Like one phasing every. So
yeah, I like and like I ran it with your group, and it's funny like when Cam and I did it with you guys, it was the fastest you guys had done it as well.
It was so easy when we did it with you guys. For some reason, it's weird because raids are something that can make and break a group, especially like Callus is at the end of the day not just a damage check, but also a like group check. Your group has to be fluid. And Griffin, I really appreciate you spending so much time with us last night when we were trying to run Mina through it, but our group just wasn't cohesive enough. We ended up having to drop a couple of people, and then by the time we finished it last night, we just had a better group. We finished it in one go. So
yeah. Go ahead.
100% know that because I left you, I left you and then immediately went flawless in trials.
I understand. Yeah, and I was super happy for you. When I saw Sean tweeted out that you guys had gone flawless first run, I was like, awesome. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
And now the real challenge begins for you guys. Can you carry me through trials?
Through one single match of trials.
One single match of trials. If you can do that, that will make you the greatest Destiny player of all time.
I carried 3 people at the same time through one match of trials, so I'm pretty sure I can do it with one person.
I'm looking forward to it.
Our live chat, Trevor Starkey in the chat as well said, "Fuck that group." I'm assuming talking about the raid group.
Yeah. After Griffin, I had to apologize multiple times
to our friends that had joined us for that.
Yeah.
I wasn't there
no, you weren't there. I have you know me, I'm a diverse kind of person. That usually means that I have a lot of different kinds of friends.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those friends were totally chill. One of them was a friend of a friend, and you guys all know how those stories end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend of a friend who's not really that close.
I'll take over at this point. So what happened was, I had 4 people in the spirit realm, and I was doing throne room by myself. And this dude's we had done the cheese, despawned all the ads. I'm in the throne room. I'm mailing it all in the scions. I'm doing all the work. His only job was to not freaking die. And you know what he does? He jumps into the sun that Callus spawns and dies. So I have to run over and revive him so our team doesn't get wiped. And because of that, I then died and missed my scion.
Yep. I was referring to somebody else.
I'm in a room with no ads.
Yep. When after that point you were done. I was actually referring to somebody after that, which was different, bad in a different way.
Got it. Did I talk about my and don't worry, we'll loop back around to you, Alex. But did I talk about my guided games experience with you guys on this show?
No, guided games. How'd that go for you?
So I wanted to give it a shot. I just because I'm reviewing Destiny. I finished my review. I just have to publish it at this point, based on the 1.0.3 version of the game. For reference, I think they're on 1.0.4 now. But I just wanted to kind of have that in my quiver as far as how is this experience for the solo player. So I went in as not a guide, but as a peon. I don't know what their term for it is.
Seeker.
A pleb.
A filthy pleb.
Plebeian. Yeah.
A plebeian. And I there were 3 people that had just joined. It was me, a Scottish dude, and some guy from Nevada, I think. And
I think his name was Griffin Guccione.
It was not Griffin Guccione. God knows if Griffin was there, we would have been fine. But and then it was the raid or the clan that we had joined up with. Their group was 3 people. It's 3 brothers. They were all in the same house together, on different systems in different rooms.
You didn't talk about this on the podcast, but I remember you telling me. Just keep going.
Yeah. And one of them had an on-off again working microphone, which is very difficult to have anyone without a microphone during the raid, as you all know. So, I mean, it was okay. Me and the guy from Nevada knew more about the raid than our guides, let's say. And we... it was the week where Gauntlet was first, then Baths, then Dogs. So we gotten through the first 2 parts, and then we stopped after Dogs because we had taken hours for those first 2 parts, and there was just there was a lot of friction, and it was just frustrating because I knew how I had done everything at that point, and I knew how everything worked. The folks leading us did not. People were muting other people, so I could hear everybody, but some people couldn't hear other people, and they were just talking shit back and forth, and I'm like a voyeur, kind of overhearing everything, and it was about what you would expect as far as a language from an online gaming experience. A lot of hard F-bombs. When
you shared that point, I was like, I'm not familiar with what do you mean hard, and then
yeah, not the fuck word, the other offensive slur word, and referring to people as sucking donkey dick.
That I was a fan of. That I felt we should be bringing into our language pool.
Yeah. It was like the last one or the first person to die sucks a big donkey dick up their urethra, I believe was the exact sentence uttered. It's a little harsh, but yeah. So that was kind of generally the experience. Like we got through 2 parts of the raid, so and one of them was Gauntlet, which is one of the more communicative parts of the raid. Not as much as like dogs, the pleasure gardens, but. That was definitely an impressive feat, to say the least. But there was like, we wanted to do it. They wanted to do it one way, and me and this other person that knew how to do it wanted to do the Gauntlet the other way, where you split into 2 groups of 3, which, in my opinion, is the easier way to do it than like having one person on each platform. And I know there's some division on that opinion, so I don't know. Like, it was a okay experience. Like it was about as toxic as like language wise as you would expect an online video game to be in 2013, which was a bit of a bummer, but I feel like if you got paired up with the right like clan, you'd actually have a pretty good experience. What did suck was, as someone who is pairing up with a clan, I had to wait 55 minutes for matchmaking.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Which I did. I was like, let's fucking see how, because it estimated 45 minutes. It's like, let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes. And I just played Samus Returns on my 3DS while it was like matchmaking. And I got into something eventually. There was it's funny because it like shows multiple different groups you can join after you wait through that. One of them was like the Super Saiyan Boys BOIS. And like, it was like very, let's say, casually racist in the description of what their clan was all about.
Wait, it gives you like a clan descriptor?
Yeah. And it was real rough.
What was their vaguely racist? They're trying to like...
Oh, stuff about like women and boys pulling their weight. And yeah, so...
okay.
There was them, and then I got to the group that I ended up rolling with, so...
I was like, how vague can you be about that kind of stuff? But all right.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
I was like, were they saying like "Hail Victory"?
No,
like what are the 14 words?
Not quite like full alt-right, but like adjacent enough that I did not want to participate with them.
Adjacent, right adjacent,
alt-right adjacent, in a bad way. Alex, you finished it with some Australian folk. Have you gone back and beaten it again? How was that experience?
Yes, yeah, I've beaten it 2 or 3 times. I actually haven't been able to run it every week. I've just been busy lately, but every week that I've run it, I've beaten it. And not this week, but last, I ran it with like my normal raid group, and we've gotten to the point where we can one phase everything except for Callus. So we get to like the first 3 parts, including flags or underbelly, whatever way we decide to go, in like an hour or so, a little less. But then Callus is still takes a little bit. And I've actually even noticed, like, we swapped out one person. We swapped NATO out with some friend of a friend or something, and everything was very bad. So, like, I noticed that, like, NATO contributed a lot. You just, like, change it up once, and you like, kind of kill that flow that everybody has. And so we were not one-phasing at all without, our normal group.
I wouldn't say so. Previous raids I would describe as being more mechanical efficiency, making sure everybody does their part. Yeah, I feel like Callus is, and for most of Leviathan it's the same thing, but I feel like Callus is more like a chemical. Like chemical, you have to. It has to be on like a very almost atomic level of cohesion, because if you don't have that, the littlest mistake, like the smallest mistake, will screw everything up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Callus, you literally have to be perfect to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're Griffin Guccione.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like it's a very different experience for me. Like, when I go into a raid, I know that I bring about an hour. Like, I take off about an hour from every raid group I've ever played with of their normal raid time. Just do so much, like, because I'm 305 and I'm good at the game, and I memorized all of the dogs' walking patterns in the pleasure gardens, and I can run the gauntlet and platform well, and I can do fucking 6 million damage to Callus because I run the highest DPS setup in the entire game. Like, there's like certain things where I know I can contribute to every raid team. Something like a guided game, or going into something like, oh, like, hey, we just need, a sixth for the raid. Like, you guys would be Callus upwards of 50 times because people ask me, hey, we're stuck on Callus. Can you come help us beat him real quick? Because like my friend list basically at this point just knows like that's what like I'm used for at this point now.
You're so much more. Like, you're so much more than just the Griffin to me.
Yeah. And it's funny. Like I sent this picture to Sean Pitts of like me like sherping people through the raid. It's like it's like a goose, and it was like it's really simple. You just blah, 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 and it's like this huge like, description. And it was like
yep.
like highest liked and retweeted tweet that he's like ever posted.
Yeah.
Just like it's funny how the raid works, where you don't realize just how much one person can contribute, but at the same time, just how much you need 6 people that know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And not just know what they're doing, because like what we were having issues with last night, what issues I always run into whenever I'm running Callus is the chemical cohesion of a group has to be so fluid. And so like, I guess if you're talking chemicals, I guess oxygen is the most applicable. I don't know. I'm not a chemist.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had to drop chemistry, so I probably shouldn't be using this as an example.
Yeah.
But Griffin, you're kind of like this element that you can put it in and it works with everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just because you work for everything doesn't mean the rest of it will work with you.
Yeah.
And that's something I think we were running into last night. And it's something I run into almost all but 2 times. Just we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. Why are we messing up? Why is this last bit not working? What is going on? And that's something I see a lot of people complaining about. But I think that's actually really brilliant. I think some things definitely should have been reserved for hard mode. The revive token, for example, that comes off as being more of a heroic or epic or whatever you want to call it mode, prestige mode. But it's challenging on a level that I don't know. I never feel like I can go into Callus the way that I go into Oryx or Crota, where it's like, okay, I'm down. I know what I'm doing. We're going to win. It's okay. We're down. We know what we're doing. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
For Callus.
In our live chat, Mina Adele posted that hydrogen is the most common element in the universe. Griffin is hydrogen.
Griffin is hydrogen. Mina always has my
Thanks,
back.
babe.
Thank you.
So there you go. There it is. There's the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shit.
I had water in my hand.
So yeah, I definitely agree. I'm writing like a 3,500 word piece on the Leviathan raid, because of the multiple experiences I've had with it and how fascinating I think it is. That will maybe someday hopefully go up. But yeah, like that. It's funny, if using Leviathan as kind of like a building block to see where Bungie is going to move with the raids going forward and how communication is going to be necessary going forward is going to be really interesting. And I'm sure we will have conversations about those raids on the show together in the future. But it's whereas like going from King's Fall to Wrath of the Machine, like you kind of have an idea. And Wrath of the Machine builds on things that King's Fall did and just uses different mechanics, but Leviathan is introducing things in a new way, and it sets a new precedent for Destiny 2. If of anything, Leviathan as a raid is one of the most sequel things in Destiny 2 because it is departing from so many aspects of the raids in Destiny 1. So, we've all beaten the raid. That's our little closing notes on it. So, like Cameron brought up, big things that happened in Destiny 2 in the last couple of weeks. Iron Banner started today. That's why we waited to record until today. That and Griffin now has access to internet.
That too.
And also, Faction Wars was last week, and we kind of touched on that a little bit. I don't know, now that we're kind of out of the specific things being introduced over like a period of time for Destiny 2, I feel like we can maybe talk more about meta, which I know some of you guys wanted to talk about, and experiences and whatnot with Destiny 2 and new things that are happening. One bit of news that kind of came out over the last couple of weeks is Bungie is talking about seasons in Destiny 2. I don't know.
That is fascinating, isn't it?
I don't know how much you guys know about this. I know very little, so I'm just kind of like bringing it up and letting my panel take it from here.
So basically, in the Crucible, as you know, like other, your stats are tracked by Bungie. And there's a lot of third-party websites that access those stats to post like Destiny Tracker, DestinyLFG.com, Destiny Trials Report. There's websites that access that metadata and break it down into how good are your opponents, how good are you. Here's individual stats. What gun do you perform best with? Like for me, I track how good I'm doing in survival game modes because I'm a freaking weirdo and I like knowing that I'm in the top 500 in the world for survival. And stats that are tracked. And what Destiny is saying is that right now we're in the preseason. So technically this isn't even season 1. And once season 1 launches, all of your PvP stats will reset.
Ooh.
So is realize now that when playing PvP from launch, when you did not have your PvP gear set, whatever that is, whatever you believe that is for yourself. There was a time when you weren't even level 20 and you probably played the Crucible. So there was a time when you were playing Crucible where you were not playing at the best you could have been, your stats negatively. What Bungie's giving you the chance to do now is to start from an area where you can play at as your best self all the time and bypass that area of time where you could not properly play PvP.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is lit.
That's cool.
I did not know they were resetting. That is so cool.
And like, do we know like length of the seasons or? Okay.
Not really. Not at least I don't personally.
No, I haven't seen anything on it. Mostly it's been almost all metadata analysis, but with a few announcements or a few stuff from Bungie about it. Yeah. That sounds fascinating though, and it also sounds like that's going to create a very interesting playing field come reset on.
Yeah, especially because we're definitely going to talk about it a little bit. I know, Griffin, you've got some specific guns you want to bring up, but like the meta is like an ever-evolving thing. Obviously, they're trying to change the balance of guns, and Alex, you and Griffin are way more into PvP than I am. I don't know where you're at with it, Cameron, but I think that's definitely a bigger draw for you guys.
I'm balls deep.
Okay,
in PvP.
I'm like toe, like big toe, maybe.
Okay.
Like maybe all 5 toes on each foot.
I'm in it whole way, full body.
Yeah,
inside.
Griffin's like toe to tit, man. Like, like let's go. So
Griffin's so deep in it, he's like a merman.
Yeah. Which is
he's the merman. That's right. That's why you're hydrating. He's the merman of Destiny PvP.
Yeah, which I'm in it. I don't know if you have anything to add here, Alex. If you've got like a depth level.
Alex is nipples deep.
I'm thinking I am 11 in that Stranger Things scene where she's just in the darkness of the water.
Oh, got it.
Gotcha.
That's fucked up, but I get you.
I always feel like there's more I could do more with like the PvP aspect, but then I find out that there's been like a new batch of releases on the Ishtar Collective, and it's like, well,
I got some lore to dig into. Alex, tell me about your experiences with Trials. Because I don't actually know what your experiences with Trials.
Talk about this.
I don't think I think only one of us positive experiences with Trials.
Okay, so I was the only one on my team that was not negative every game of Trials, and so it was just really hard to establish strats, just because whether like I was playing with good people, but I would say like we weren't on the same playing fields. Like one match I'd be doing great, somebody else would be sucking, then it'd be vice versa, and it was just hard to establish a strat because also my team got fed up really quick, and they were just like I'm done, and I was like, but we can do this. So I think the most I made it was like 3 in a row, and that was it.
Never take a PvE player into Trials.
Yeah,
Does not go well.
Yeah, like me,
Yeah.
guys. Stop asking me to play Trials. Seriously, I'm very bad at it.
Yeah. And we were also trying to run counter meta, which was just, a challenge in and of itself, just because everyone wasn't really familiar with like everything that goes into that, and also, just sometimes we just didn't execute. So yeah,
Griffin.
I will go
In my
flawless one
opinion-
day. I just have to find the right team.
Okay.
Opinion, and before I'll talk about my answers, in my opinion, you shouldn't touch anything you would consider counter meta if you don't have a 2.0 KD or above.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. There's the hard line in the sand. I agree with you, Griffin.
Like,
I'm above that line. Let it be known.
Yeah, lean into the meta if you don't consider, like, you need to lean into the meta if you are not a proficient Crucible player. And I promise you, if you don't have a 2.0 KD, because of the way, so Bungie's KD on the Crucible emblem is not a true.
It adds and assists.
Mm-hmm.
It's a KAD, which is different, fundamentally speaking, because it credits you the same as an assist as a kill.
Yeah.
So your assists are weighted the same as a kill, instead of a KD/A, which weights assists at a 0.5. Okay. So one assist is worth half of a kill instead. I have a 2.0 flat in Destiny. Okay. So with my assists being weighted as less than a kill, I still have a 2.0. I can touch off meta things.
Griffin's allowed.
I can play with things that aren't in the meta. Alex can play with things that aren't in the meta because we have 2.0s and above. Mm-hmm. So if you put on the Crucible emblem and it doesn't show you a number 2, don't try to go against the grain, because I promise you will suffer for it. Your KD will suffer. Your win rate will suffer. You will not go flawless in Trials.
Okay. So, Griffin, tell me about your Trials experience.
1 and 2, I was DDoSed a total of 6 times.
Oh, jeez.
That sucks.
So what happened was there was a really consistent bug that the host of could, theoretically speaking, DDoS the entire enemy team. So, like, if you were the host of the game because of peer-to-peer matchmaking. Oh, why did my video just cut out?
Come back to
You're
us.
in the void.
We can still hear you. Hopefully it'll come back in a moment.
Yeah, hopefully.
Discord beta.
So basically, I'm going to just keep talking while I try to fix this.
Sure.
People were DDoSing the first couple weeks. A bunch of people got banned for DDoSing the first couple weeks. And so what happened was I know what happened. Okay. So a bunch of people were DDoSing, Bungie cracking it. Everything was fixed. And then week 3 rolled around. I did go flawless in week 2, but I didn't go flawless in week 1.
Okay.
So, so week 3 rolls around, I go flawless again. Week 4 rolls around, I go flawless. Hey, that's an Andy Cortez.
Oh, hi, Andy.
Oh, hi, Andy. Candy Andy.
What are you talking about?
Destiny.
I've heard of that game, dude. It's pretty cool, man.
Cool.
Have you all played the first Doom? Yeah, dude. Cool game, man. Good chats, dude.
A little bit of candy tonight.
Candy Andy. I went flawless. I've been flawless 3 times now. I've had a few runs where, like, 7th game, just it hurts. But overall, my experience has been pretty positive now that I have, like, a solid team that I run with. More than just, oh, I know that guy and he's good at Crucible.
Mm-hmm.
It takes people that I know that guy, he's good at Crucible, and when he dies, I don't want to punch him in the face.
Because you know he's pulling his weight, right?
It's like you know he's pulling his weight. You know he's a good player. You respect him as a Destiny player, and you can communicate well with each other. You have to find people that oftentimes both would like to, you could say, lead the fire team. But what happens when 2 people try to lead the fire team and 2 people try to call out strats is you get opposing ideas, and you can't have opposing ideas while you're also trying to win a Crucible match. You can't think about shooting people and also think about how that person's not listening to you. happen. So I just take the back seat. All right, Sean, you're gonna focus on strategy. You're gonna call out what we're supposed to do. I'll take the back seat to you. And the only time I take over is when he says, I don't know what to do. Griffin, what should we do? Okay. So we have that kind of, but we've built that up over weeks and weeks of trials. Most of the time we play with Danny Juarez.
Sweet Danny Juarez.
He's exceptionally better at Destiny 2 Crucible than I think most people give him credit for. And bye, Cam.
And sayonara. Continue.
Yeah, and then we pick up a fourth person depending on who we have that week. Sometimes it's Fred, sometimes it's Barrett, sometimes it's Andy, like you saw, and other.
But it's never me.
It's never Cameron. It's never me. Nor should it ever be me. Griffin, I don't want you to hate me, so I don't want you to ever play Trials with me.
It's been overall good, and that is because like I have a very strong grasp on what you should and should not do, how you should and should not set up your character in PvP. Okay. Someone's loadout and immediately tell them what's wrong with it. I think I did it to you today, Alex.
Yep.
Teach me, senpai.
Yeah.
Teach.
But you know, like I get it.
Yeah, I'll break down classes in another podcast.
Yeah.
Video.
You know, I'm not a PvP person in Destiny. I understand that. That's why I'm the moderator and you guys are the panel. So I just direct the conversation. It's a lot of.
Yeah, it's me. Imagine my fingers actually being put on your lips. Shh.
Oh, I love this. Somebody screen grab that for the thumbnail, please. So speaking of PvP, and like Trials is fun and all, but there's also the more lighthearted Iron Banner event which just started. And Alex, this is your first Iron Banner.
Yep.
I actually never played Iron Banner until Rise of Iron, the final expansion to Destiny, the original. It was definitely a big focus of that expansion because that expansion thematically resonated with Lord Saladin. It was good to see him hanging out at the tower again, hanging out at the salad bar, you know. And yeah, I don't know, like it is more happy-go-lucky. I really don't know like what the thrust of Iron Banner is. It seems more just like, I don't know, play PvP and get specific loot, I guess.
That's it. That's pretty much it.
So it is nice because it brings people into PvP that I don't think played often. It's got cool gear that makes you look like a knight in armor.
It brings in people that will AFK in the middle of your match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something to point out, and this is a big difference from Destiny 1, is in Destiny 1, Iron Banner, where initially it was level, but later on it became light. When light level became more of the thing rather than power level. Mm-hmm. It's where that actually mattered. So normally when you play Crucible matches, your power level is put to a base level, so everybody's the same. Mm-hmm. Iron Banner used to be where that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So you had some of the most highly competitive players playing in Iron Banner in Destiny 1, where power level or light level back in Destiny 1 actually really mattered. They did not do that this time. It's a lot more relaxed and it's interesting. It's a different experience. I miss old Iron Banner, but I'm kind of digging this new one because it's really relaxed and casual. So
now light level doesn't matter or power level doesn't matter in Trials now either, correct?
True. Light level used to matter in Trials as well. I'm a little upset that it doesn't matter in either of them, but it's okay. I'll get over it.
Yeah, I feel like one Trials especially over the other. But you know, like I don't know. There are aspects of Trials that are still like have that highly competitive edge to it. So especially if you play at like 2:00 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, where you're just destroyed. I will, like, you know, in defense of Cameron and I, we won one round, and I'd like to take the credit for it because I defused a bomb in.
You did. That was awesome. And you snuck past while they were and defused it. So.
You would have been proud, Griffin. It was a shrewd move.
I probably would have been. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes when I'm playing trials and I see that my friends are on, and I see they're also playing trials, sometimes in my head I just chant their names so that I'll get matched up against them,
You son of a bitch.
so that I know that I'll win. And there was one time that you and Cameron are playing trials together, and I was playing, and I was just like, Al Fighter 27.
Please.
27.
I don't think I could bring myself to hurt you in a competitive match.
I would just like, hey, is there an emote that is like, assume the position, put your hands behind your head,
like
get on your
fucking
knees and get ready?
execution style, like
Just
in
run
the
out in the middle of the
street.
map.
Is there a-
Takes out a tube of Vaseline and just grabs a whole lot of it.
Just like way too much. Yeah, that's the exotic emote I want to see, is like the tube of Vaseline, glowing lights in front of you, just like scooping out of it. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, please don't do that to me, but I get it.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Tell me, Griffin. Now that like we're in the thick of the competitive bits of the show, what you told me you had some guns that you wanted to recommend. Let's take a minute and get a lesson from Griffin Senpai. Everybody, put on your learning hats.
All right. So, if you don't already know, rifles do the most damage in the game as far as consistent DPS. It's why when fighting Callus, the highest DPS setups are the Sweet Business and a secondary auto rifle, or a primary auto rifle and the Cold Heart. They're all auto rifles. The heavy weapon is that everyone uses is the Sins of the Past, which is the Raid Rocket. Believe it or not, all those things are also good in Crucible. The Origin Story, the Scathe Lock, the Number, Ghost Primus, Gift, which is like debatably the strongest Crucible auto rifle in the game.
That's what I use.
Have to use it with the shorter zoom sight and the armor piercing rounds, I believe they're called. Not the steady rounds. Otherwise, it doesn't do as much damage. There's a glitch right now with explosive rounds, armor piercing rounds, and there's one other type that does it as well, where those rounds augment the range up on the stat bar. So that those rounds actually give your gun damn near like max range, and it doesn't actually like show it on the screen, or like show you like on the screen that it does that. Why the Better Devils is so good. The explosive rounds augment the range to a ridiculous degree, making your damage fall off damn near nothing at almost every range. So you got auto rifles, unless you're using a really crappy one, and then like why?
What gun was it again? Sorry, could you repeat it?
Origin Story, Uriel's Gift, Scathe Lock, Ghost Primus.
Okay.
And the Number, which was a Future War Cult auto rifle. The 5.
Okay.
So you have 5 options there. It's no surprise to you that the Mida multi-tool is good. You should use it. And if you don't want to use it, there's another gun you can use. It's called the Frontier Justice. It's a legendary scout rifle. It actually will beat the Mida in a one-on-one with headshots at the exact same range if both of them are firing at max speed. If 2 people start an engagement at the same time and fight each other, the Frontier Justice will win every time. So now you do. The stopping power on that gun is ridiculous. If you hit, you can 3-shot headshot, I believe.
3-shot.
And the Mida is
Dang.
Mida is a 4-shot headshot. So the stopping power on that gun is really, really hard. The difference being it shoots slower. So if you tend to miss your shots more, don't use it. If you know that you're going to hit all your scout rifle shots, then you can use it because it shoots a lot slower, but its damage is better. There's also a scout rifle called Call to Serve. It's another good legendary scout rifle that you can use as a primary weapon. Amalon sidearms are disgustingly broken. They are tri-burst sidearms. Amalon frame sidearms have tri-burst. They are the fastest close-range DPS weapons in the game. So if you have the Last Hope, the Last Dance, the Etana, and there's a blue one as well that I think you can use if you really don't have any of those. One in trials, and I wiped an entire team with it. Good. Stance are basically the same exact gun. The Etana is a little bit worse than both of those. So if you have either of those, really good. They got ricochet rounds, which are really fun to shoot at the ground sometimes. And then you have your submachine guns, your Mida Mini tool, your Antiope D, your Adjudicator. That's your trials submachine guns. All of them very, very strong. Kinetic weapons inherently do more headshot damage than energy weapons. So your primary submachine guns really will kind of delete someone if you can stack headshots with the submachine gun.
Is Antiope is that kinetic?
I think
Antiope
so.
Antiope is kinetic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for heavy weapons, the only sword you should ever touch is the Quick Fang.
Mm-hmm.
It increases your movement speed and it makes you ultra fast, and you can just close distance and wipe people. I have a clip actually of Alex talking in the background and me killing an entire team in a countdown match with the sword.
Nice.
I will say you have better options than swords. I'm just saying if you use a sword, don't use anything that isn't the Quick Fang. And the only people that can use the Quick Fang are hunters. So sorry.
Not sorry.
Shotguns. Retro Futurist. The Crucible shotgun is the only one you should really use. Hawthorne's Field Forge shotgun is fine, I guess. I don't know. It takes too many shots and it wastes ammo. They're interesting. The Raid Sniper has snapshot. Extra res snipe.
I do have the raid
So-
sniper, so it's good to know.
The Raid Sniper is fun to use. It will one-shot headshot kill someone, but if they have just been revived, it will not kill them. So it cannot res snipe in any way. The next best one is the Shepherd's Watch, as far as legendaries go. The Shepherd's Watch Sniper is very good. It has a perk very similar to Hidden Hand if you know how to drag scope or moving. So it kind of increases your aim assist to a degree to lock onto someone's head. It's a very good sniper, but it doesn't have snapshot.
Mm.
Back, I have a light level 300 Damietta sniper rifle that has basically a short gaze sniper scope, has snapshot, and does enough damage to res snipe. So I use a blue sniper in Crucible on it, and it's 300 light, and anyone can fight me. it's the best sniper in the game, and you can't tell me otherwise. So if you're ever looking for a fun sniper rifle, look around before you delete blue ones, because you might find one that you really like. As far as rocket launchers go, there's 3 that you should use. The Vanguard rocket launcher, which name escapes me right now. The Blue Shift has a really high blast radius, and then of course the Raid rocket launcher, which 3 kills by accident. Oops.
Yeah,
It's
it's basically Gallahorn without the homing.
Yeah. Mind you, the cluster bombs on the Raid rocket do a significant amount of damage to yourself, so don't stand near it when you shoot it.
Yep.
Mm.
That's a hard lesson to learn the hard way, so don't do it.
Also, if someone has a rocket launcher and they're trying to shoot it at you, jump up in the air.
Yes.
Yep.
Everyone shoots
near a
cluster
wall.
bombs, not near a wall, in the middle of an open field, because everyone shoots cluster bombs at the floor and you can just jump right over them.
Yep.
Exotics.
What about pulse rifles?
Rifles. I was like, I forgot something. Vigilance Wing, awesome. Lincoln Green, really good.
That's it. The end.
That's really the only pulse rifles you should use, in my opinion.
Vigilance Wing
think-
is really nice for sure. That was
Just wanted to say
Vigilance
I had
Wing
the
is-
Vigilance Wing before it was cool.
me too.
Yeah.
I had to break it to you, but Vigilance Wing was cool day 1 of Destiny. Try to hit your bullshit yourself.
You know what I mean.
Zero so everyone should have Vigilance Wing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody has Vigilance Wing, and everybody has used Vigilance. It was cool day 1. There's no hipster bullshit about it.
Yeah.
I have
It's
that
a really
at 305
interesting.
now, so that's interesting.
It's a
Nice.
really interesting pulse rifle because it shoots in that 5-round burst.
Yeah.
So the rate of fire stat is a little off. It's higher. What it says is higher than what it is because of the way that it shoots. So like you look at the Vigilance Wing and then you compare it to the Lincoln Green, right? And in every single way, better gun stat wise when you look at base stats. But then you fire them, and because of the 5-round burst, they actually trade dead even.
Okay.
So as far as like the Vigilance Wing looks like it's better than every pulse rifle in the game. It is, but there's some that will trade even with it. So you have to be careful with that.
Okay.
As far as meta goes, everyone's going to use the Mida. The most popular setup in the game right now is to use the Mida multi-tool. If you ever go into trials, this is what you're going to see everyone basically use. The Mida multi-tool, with a secondary being the Last Hope or the Uriel's Gift launcher. That's the most common setup you'll see in the entire game. It's the most common setup you'll see because it's a really good setup. Like there's no two ways about it. Like the Mida multi-tool is one of the best performing scout rifles in the game. You get to keep your radar while you use it. And if someone gets too close, you switch to the Uriel's Gift, you switch to the Last Dance, and you delete them. It's a solid setup. Like people use. So if you want to have bare basic success in the Crucible, you will see a lot of success using that. Now, all those other guns I talked about in all other different sorts of configurations are all viable guns. All of them. I'm serious. You can use any one of them. I was running trials today, and I was using 3 legendary weapons. No, I'm sorry. I was using 2 legendary weapons and a blue weapon, and I was putting up 30 kills a game. So, like, I promise you there's other things you can use. Just for you. Like, I know some people are like, wow, like this pulse rifle, like this Vigilance Wing, I know it's supposed to be good, but I just can't use it. Some people don't like pulse rifles. Some people aren't good with them. If you feel like, wow, I'm having a lot of trouble hitting all my shots on someone, don't use a scout rifle. Like success, if you feel like you're missing a lot of shots, use a Uriel's Gift. Use something that is an auto rifle that's more forgiving. Really, really sensitive to hitting every single shot. And then use setups and classes that are good that will help you succeed. Like I know a lot of Warlocks that all play Stormcaller because for some reason everyone thinks Stormcaller is the best class in the game.
Dawnblade.
Nobody says that.
It's not.
I have the
Griffin
mayor
was
of
like, ooh.
No,
I'm going to tell you
nobody-
otherwise.
Nobody says Dawnblade is the best. Nobody
I
says
do.
that.
But
I
here's
got
the
my
thing.
mid-air dash.
No.
The Devour build on the Voidwalker is one of the strongest things I've ever seen in Destiny. Armlets, which are the armlets for the Voidwalker that literally make it so that when you melee someone, which is an 8-second debuff that regens all of your health instantly, and if you kill someone within that 8 seconds, it does it again. Then you don't kill someone within that 8 seconds, you eat your grenade, it does it again. And then if for some reason you still fucked up, guess what? You have a healing rift that you can drop.
Yeah.
3 gen that we've ever seen in Destiny. Like it's as far as engagement to engagement goes, it's one of the strongest classes in the game. The Striker Titan ability where he can throw 2 shock grenades. 2 pulse grenades that do double the aftershocks and do double the damage. So he throws a grenade on you, and if he hits you dead on, you're dead. You actually can't get away from it fast enough. The Hunter, you can run the Way of the Trapper and turn invisible after you shade step reload, and then run around a pillar really quick, and then the person completely loses you, and then you take out Last Hope and just go boop 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 boop, and they're dead. I'm telling you, there's just so many ways. There's so many different classes and so many different guns to just beat the meta. What works for you, but there's nothing wrong with playing into the meta in the same way.
Mm-hmm. I like that too. Like, especially for someone like me that, I'm not good with pulse rifles, for example. Like I tried Vigilance Wing and it was real rough.
That's a heavy gun. When you're running with that gun, that is a heavy gun to handle.
So like hearing, like I have a great Scathe that I really like. I have Ghost Primus. It's like one of the few raid weapons I actually do have. Like hearing that helps me like reassess my strategy. I don't have like any of the heavy weapons you recommended. This is a shitty thing, but
Actually, I don't either.
But that's a good place to start. And I like to play Voidwalker for PvP. Usually, I just have been using Stormcaller because I'm comfortable with that. But Yeah, that's good stuff to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you, Griffin. I feel like a lot of people
No
are
problem,
going to
dude.
be able to go into Iron Banner a little bit more confidently now.
I took notes.
Yeah. I was
I will try and devour build just for you guys.
okay.
But I'm
Appreciate
telling you,
I
Tell-
do
tell-
I
genuinely,
do like that linear
genuinely try it.
Yeah.
And I would
I've heard a
like
lot
to
about
see
it.
how you feel about it.
dodge. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to see how you feel about it. Do you have the armlets that I was talking about? The exotic
Yes.
arm piece?
yep.
That really give it like a solid chance and see how you like it. And give yourself enough time to adapt to that style of play. But I'm serious. You can really, if you can chain your kills one after another and proc that devour multiple times in a row, you'll see just how broken it is.
I will. I'll try it out this week and report back next episode.
Okay. It's funny because like I actually really like the other Voidwalker subtree because of the overcharge grenades. Because those overcharge like secret grenades or like they will kill anyone. And I like them, but that's just my 2 cents out there.
Yeah, and it's all about, like Griffin even said this, like play what you're comfortable, play what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you get in there and you're like absolute garbage for some reason with a build or a gun, you've got so many other options.
That's the cool thing about Destiny.
Look,
is the option.
Yeah, I was playing with a guy last night when we went flawless in trials. The fourth guy we picked up was like, "Yeah, I've been playing as my Titan. I really like playing as a Titan. I've just been struggling a lot." And I was like, "Titans, switch to Striker." And he switched to Striker and didn't put up a non-positive KD the entire run.
Yeah.
One little switch, like, and he was like, "Oh, my grenades are stronger. I'm stronger. My super's better. Why didn't I
Yeah.
use this the whole time?" And it was like, just try stuff out. Like, if you feel like I'm really not succeeding right now, just try other stuff.
And like that's just to circle back a little bit, that's also true of the raid in our experience. Like if you're hitting a wall, try something different. Like maybe switch some subclasses around, switch people's roles around. That's helped a lot in the past with Cameron and I. So sometimes people just don't even know that they're good at another part of that raid or would be more comfortable somewhere else until they try it.
Yeah.
So
Rally Barricade and freaking Crucible.
yeah.
Rally
What'd you say?
Rally Barricade's garbage. Stop using it in Crucible.
Yeah, use your big walls.
Big old wall.
A big old wall.
Big old wall.
Okay, so I want to. I don't know. Like you guys are the ones that solicited questions tonight. Do we have any good questions?
Did you want to start off on questions, or did you want to go to my corner?
I was gonna do lore corner, but I didn't know how many questions we were working with.
That's good, actually. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll end with my corner then. Lore
Okay.
corner.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna give you a hard time limit, Cameron, and then we'll close with that.
All right, sounds good.
Uh,
Let me see my Twitter feed.
Let's pull up some.
All right.
some
I've got
Uh,
one from Cody Bernston who says, "Why are we all scrubs?" And I just want to say,
Alex
Cody
and
is
Griffin
a bad
explicitly are
Destiny
not
player.
scrubs. Like
Cody Bernston, you are a bad Destiny player. I
There it
said
is.
it.
There it is.
Don't come in here with
Bernston.
that.
I will play on someone else's Xbox, having never played Xbox Destiny. I will 1v1 you, and I'll end your life.
Your Destiny disc
You
will crack.
so bad.
Before the show, Griffin was like, "Who's this Cody guy?"
I'll beat you so bad, your Destiny will uninstall from your freaking disc.
Damn.
I will play Golden Gun, and I'll Nighthawk you in Crucible just to BM you.
Nighthawk headshot, one shot. That's it. His Destiny disc will eject from his Xbox 360 and kill him, like that weird fake
Dang,
news
just
story.
right in the throat.
Yeah, that happens.
I got
Nobody-
one from Steiger.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your favorite guns to use? Not necessarily the meta. And why is it the origin story? Origin story is the best. Fight me.
Okay.
I'm glad that's your favorite gun to use. My personal favorite gun to just use in Destiny is the Sweet Business. It's bad. Don't use it. But it's so much fun, dude. It's got a 99 shot mag. You whip that thing out and you're like, look at my giant cock. And then you just like unload the whole thing. Yeah, I love that gun. It's so cool.
I've recently
used-
become
it
a
looks
big.
cool.
I've recently become a big fan of Uriel's Gift. I never was a big auto rifle guy before, but I find myself using it a lot. I like it a lot. I'll even take the light drop in raid or PvE just to have it with me. I'm a big fan of it. So
My guilty pleasure is certainly a guilty pleasure because it is a trash gun, or so people say, but I still love it. As the Graviton Lance.
Fuck
It was my first exotic that I got special attachment to it, and it just looks so pretty when you like turn people into the void dust. But don't play with that gun. Don't play with that gun.
It's not good.
Yes.
Not at all.
I'm like, shout out to Hardlight. That's not my pick, but like I know that's like not meta wise the best gun. I do like that gun. I've got a soft spot in my heart. But the first exotic drop I ever got in Destiny 1. So getting it was like my second exotic drop ever in Destiny 2. I'm like, this is fate. It's destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Become legend. But I like the Sturm and Drang combo. I understand that it's probably terrible. I like it because you never have to reload. I just swap guns, especially like killing ads. And I talked about it on Irrational Passions podcast. Like, I get more headshots in Destiny than I do in any other first-person shooter I've ever played. Probably because Destiny's so good. But like when you get headshots with those guns, they like support each other. I just, it's like my life. It's true of my life. I just like a good support system. Like me having you boys to talk to Destiny about. Sturm and Drang, they support one another. Like you support me, Griffin. That's all I'm saying.
I'm super happy you enjoy those guns. Next question.
Garbage.
Garbage. I just need 305. Power. Why does RNG Jesus hate me? From Trevor. Probably because you don't pray to RNG Jesus enough.
Yeah, you need a bigger altar.
That's it. Yeah, you need to make forge an altar out of fire and brimstone. Oh wait, no, sorry, wrong one. Out of gold and incense.
What was the last creature that you sacrificed to RNGesus?
Yeah, really, like
yeah,
his personal life.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it the first of your flock? Was it the what was the last creature you sacrificed to RNGesus?
The last time I sacrificed a creature was that time I shot the rat in my house.
Yeah, oh boy.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, in the last 2 weeks of me living in Las Vegas, there was a giant hole in my wall because there was a leak in my bathroom. And through that hole climbed this rat that lived in my house for like a week because we were trying to find him the whole time. I finally saw him one night and I shot him through the face with a rifle.
I didn't know you shot it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I legit shot it in my house.
I don't doubt it. But all right, I guess.
Yeah.
What kind of rifle did you use to shoot it?
I had an
Ghost
air
Primus,
rifle.
I
used the Ghost Primus. I had like an air rifle that I had gotten when I was younger to like learn how to shoot things. It shoots. It's a 1 caliber little tiny bullet.
Enough to kill a rat.
So 200-pound bore, but not enough to break and go like through the tile. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I shot it and I didn't miss because even in real life, I don't miss when I play shooters.
Dang.
Damn.
Mercenary.
I just want to take a moment that Mina in our live chat said that she also loves the Graviton Lance. And I said that to upset Griffin and to make Alex feel happier.
There you go.
On Twitter, I need to follow her. And we'll just
She is
talk
on
about
Twitter.
Graviton Lance.
She is, yeah.
I'll find you.
Shout out.
That sounds creepy, but I just want to talk about the Graviton Lance.
Mina is from Cam and My's raid group, so yeah, shout out to Mina.
I've heard the name before.
She is an
She's also my
Mina,
wife.
do you have the ornament?
Yeah, she's also Griffin's wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Any other
Was Destiny wife.
Mazel tov, yeah. This time Mazel tov on the air. Any other questions we got? We solicited a little bit late, so I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot. All right, Cameron, I want you to close this out. Unless, Alex, we haven't checked in with the musical jam segment. If you had any you want to bring up.
10 out of 8, music's still good.
Yeah, that music, man.
Music is
So
very good.
good.
It's very
Hasn't changed.
good. Tower music is very good.
So when I signed up for the music thing, I didn't know I was signing up for an episode. But yeah, man, that music, that violin, that cello.
Yeah.
Just bask in it, you know.
That
I actually
upright
been listening to
bass.
like video game soundtracks in the shower because like I can just like let the water run. Don't give me that weird look. It's good. And yeah, sometimes I'll put on Destiny.
Okay.
Lately, it's been Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Not Cuphead?
No. Cuphead stresses me out. I don't want to be in the shower like. Yeah. But yeah.
All right, there you go. All right, Cameron, I'm going to give you 6 minutes on the clock.
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Good God.
That's actually a pretty noticeable amount of time. Like,
I'm setting the timer.
I'm setting
All
the
right.
timer. Don't worry. I got it. I got it pulled up. So we're good.
I was going to. So the original plan that I had for was I was going to pull an Audible, but I feel like to talk about Iron Banner, but I feel like Iron Banner, enough of that has actually been explained in the DLC Rise of Iron in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
So I don't feel necessarily as compelled to do it.
Okay. You tell me when to start.
I will tell you when to start. It's okay. So today we're going back to what I introduced the first time we did the podcast, my list of
Oh my
lore.
gosh.
Fuck yeah.
Freaking nerd.
We
Y'all
only
hear
had
about
6 of
that
these
hive
episodes.
underwater worm?
And then, of course, there's also the Audible that I
It's
have.
Oryx. It's Oryx.
It's Oryx's ghost. I knew it.
It's not Oryx because, oh my God, we're not getting
Because Venus. Yeah.
we're not getting into this right now. All right.
Okay.
I have 6. I only have 6 minutes. All right. So,
Are you ready?
give me just 1 second here. Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna do that.
let me compile my notes.
All right. So I'm gonna want to talk about. Give me 1 second here.
Oh my
Let me
god.
pull out my typewriter real quick.
That underwater worm.
We're not talking about underwater worm. That's an advanced subject. We're really going for the basics here,
Yeah,
Alex. Thank you
we're
very
still in
much.
like 102 range, guys. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You guys haven't even got out of 1. Don't even. No.
All right. Are we
All right.
remedial? Is this what remedial classes is?
Did I
like?
tell you about that YouTube video I watched on lore? And he was like, I interviewed an awoken.
That was so weird. I have never seen that.
Fuck yes, dude. Yes.
I interviewed him. I'm like, what is this?
Well, no, that's not a lore video. That's a.
Yeah, that was like actually a grocery haul video. I don't know what the fuck you were watching.
All right. Are you guys
I'm
ready?
pretty sure that was a Brazers video. I mean, what? Yeah.
And the
Somebody
giant
put a
worm.
Brazzers logo like dead center in the middle, and like that'll be the thumbnail. All right, I'm ready, Cameron.
All right.
I'm
Go.
gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, and then it's all you. Okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
So tonight we're actually going to be talking about the concept of quote unquote humanity as it's referred to in Destiny. Destiny doesn't refer to humanity just as the human race. During the Golden Age, we expanded very far and increased our technology to the point where we were able to create exoskeletal suits or robots, basically, that we could transfer consciousness into. So during the Golden Age, we developed this technique, specifically the Bray Corporation did. And people who ended up finding themselves in debt to the Bray Corporation often found themselves in becoming exos, such as Cade 6. So humanity is much bigger than just the quote-unquote human race. So when they're referencing humanity, a lot of times referencing just the last vestiges of I guess the best way to put it is the Earth Empire that expanded throughout the stars during the Golden Age of the Traveler.
Yes.
What ended up happening is you have these 3 races that you can pick through Destiny. One is the Exos, which I've already kind of explained. There's a lot more into theories going into the Exos, like why. Anyway, like do Exos get memory wipes and that sort of thing when they become too sentient? Does that automatically happen, or is there a manual thing that happens? The second one that I want to talk about is humanity, like the human race that you can select, which is essentially unawoken. Non-woke humans, as it were.
Yeah.
These are humans that are descendants of humans who did not go into space and thus did not end up going through, I guess a nice way to put it is the evolutionary process.
I saw Fantastic Four. I know what you're talking about.
All right, cool. So you have the unwoke humans, which are descendants of those who stayed on Earth, which make up the vast majority of humanity. Then we get into the awoken, which are
They don't believe that racism exists because they're unwoke.
yeah, they're unwoke. To be fair, Destiny exists in a post. So
Fingers crossed.
then you have the awoken. Awoken are essentially descendants or revived guardians, so to speak, of those who actually entered space. There's a lot of theories about what caused the Awoken evolution to happen, whether or not it was through interaction with the darkness, when the darkness came through in the collapse, whether it was a lot of Awoken are found within the Reef, which they're the descendants of those who survived the mass exodus that turned tragic. The Reef essentially is a massive bunch of ships that tried to escape the collapse, but the darkness got them anyway. And they're
was it just the traveler's kink to see purple humans?
No, this is now we're
okay. That's a new theory, Griffin. So essentially, Awoken are space elves, basically.
Okay.
So you have robots, the Unwoke, and space elves.
I
And
had
that's-
one once.
Good God, shut up, Alex. I'm done with that shit. But yeah, no, so that's basically humanity. And of course, humanity is existing through the collapse, made it through what's called the Dark Ages. The Dark Age, which is essentially a collapsed post-apocalyptic society where guardians weren't necessarily good. The idea of like a good Vanguard guardian is actually relatively new, specifically by the City Age. Prior to that, a lot of guardians were actually warlords. And it wasn't until certain guardians stood up and became the Iron Banner that kind of this idea of a more noble possibility for the revived guardians became something that they could strive for, and thus leading into the establishment of the City Age. Thus establishing the Vanguard, anyway, a lot of other stuff that we won't go into right now, but humanity is something that is noticeably hard to kill. It's one thing that really unites all species of humanity, but overall, it's also the Last City is a shorthand term for the Last City of humanity. And so it's important that when you hear humanity be referenced in Destiny, it's actually referencing the group and more of a faction than it is the specific species. So,
with a minute and 15 seconds left to spare. If
You're right.
all
That
of
was
us-
way less complicated than an underwater worm.
told you.
If all of us were to be turned into the three races of humanity that exist in Destiny 2, what do you think each of us would be?
I would like to say I'd be a woke space elf, but I feel like I would probably end up in debt and become an exo.
I feel like Griffin would be an exo, but like he'd own it, you know?
100%.
Like
Griffin would be an example of like what would be cool about being an exo. I would be an example of what's not cool about being.
you'd be like
so.
Cade 6, but cooler, is what I'm saying.
Oh, thanks, dude.
When I was looking around, I was thinking about doing like an image, like getting all like basically Destiny characters together in like find a wallpaper that had them all. And if I found one with Cade 6, Griffin's head was going to be on it.
Alex for sure is a fucking space elf.
Oh yeah.
Let
me
I
see
don't know.
that
I always found
Let
Alex
me send you a
much more of
photo
an
and convince you.
I always found Alex to be much more of an unwoke human.
I'm from the South, so
I'd definitely be a unwoke ass human, so just a little less racist.
this is
No,
Cal's
dude.
Earth now.
No. Hold on. I would be Cade 6. Alex would be Lord Salad Bar.
Fuck yeah.
And Alex, we already discussed this. You're a Rock Jalal.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah, Alex is a rock. So, Alex, you would be a space elf.
And
Okay.
Cameron Abbott is Eris Morn, because Eris Morn is the only person I know that would be interested in lore.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I'm just saying, Akora's pretty big into lore too. And
Oh, that's a good point. No, you're the guy, Okora's friend, her old friend with the robot hands.
What?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know what you're
the
talking
guy that's
about.
on the guy that's on IO with the robot hand, who's always
Oh
like,
fuck yeah, no, that's
the
me.
actress is mine.
And you
Yeah,
you
it's-
never give credit where credit is due. You're just like kind of butthurt about it all.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
talking shit about people who are on other planets because you know they won't come over there and beat your ass.
You'd fucking for sure call Zavala a Vuvuzela and think it's the hottest fucking burn this side of Io, dude. Like, you'd be like, dude, you hear this fucking shit I just dropped?
Yeah, I would do that.
All right.
I think that's gonna
I don't
wrap
know.
the third episode of Farm to Tower, though. This was fun. This is always fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
I love you guys so much.
I love my
for-
boys.
I'm gonna take a minute. Thank you guys for taking the time to placate my dumb idea. I hope this has been an exciting creative endeavor for all of you.
It has been.
We are halfway through our tentative first season of Destiny 2 Farm to Tower. I planned on 6 episodes with revivals when new expansions come out. I think December is going to be that first expansion.
Yeah, Curse of Osiris is slated to launch in December.
Okay, so we might that might be
Yeah.
like our last episode. Will probably be that. And obviously we'll be back, get the fam back together to talk about the second expansion and presumably the first major expansion next September. So just as like a little checkpoint, here we are halfway through Farm to Tower. Thank you all so much. Obviously, if you don't already, just follow all of my lovely panelists here. Just follow Alex at It's Van Aken and listen to Pixel Pulse Radio, the podcast he hosts every week over on okbeast.com. Cameron Abbott is at Unsexiest Comedy on Twitter, and you should listen to Naughty Gamers. That's KNOTTY Gamers, not Naughty Gamers. The explicit, sexual-driven video game podcast that Griffin Guccione and Sean Pitts co-host.
That's a thing that doesn't exist.
No, we should make that a thing, though.
But it should exist. I'd host that.
And you should follow Griffin at Griffin Senpai and let him know if you have any Destiny questions. Here's a challenge. Tweet Griffin a screenshot of your trials loadout, and he'll tell you why it's wrong.
Yeah, make sure that the tweet includes what subclass and what subclass tree you're using.
Yeah. That'll help Griffin out. And I am at AlFighter27. I host a video games podcast called Irrational Passions Podcast. You can watch it and listen to it right here on the same YouTube channel that you're viewing this. Thank you all so much for your time. Griffin, have you thought of an appropriate send-off for us?
Dude.
Okay. Take us out.
From all of us here at Farm to Tower, from Cade 6 to Lord Salad Bar, this has been Farm to Tower, and stay organic, everybody.
Ooh.
Have a good night,
I
everyone.
like it.